So before we start, let me share with you some of my favorite books to learn the Italic, the classical Italic, or so-called cancellaresca. Is that Italian? I guess cancellaresca. Let me share the screen with you. So this is it. This is my book collections with a lot of old copybooks from 15th century to 19th century. And I have a little folder with cancellaresca or classical Italic that I want to share with you. One of my favorite books is this, hopefully this book. This book, it's called, what that's called, it's something in Spain by Francisco Lucas. Is one of my favorite calligraphers from the 1571. Oh, it's not phone book. It must be his phone book somewhere. But anyway, I will show you this book later on the website so you can download them. It's a very wonderful book to learn Italic, classical Italic, especially for handwriting. It showed the what's that called? Very clear method to learn Italic in general, and you see that the writing is very consistent here. So this is one book, and another book that I really liked is this one. It doesn't show the title, but I want to show you here. It's very, very old style writing with the quill, and it shows beautiful texture and writing from the 15th century. And you see that a lot of inspirationals and flourishings too. We don't use them very much these days, all kind of flourishing like this. But I want to show you some of that. So see, very interesting writing, even the outward angle from the other side, like that, and so much more. And different kind of weird writing style. This book and another book is this one is also one of my favorite with Italic handwriting. So before we start next week, I will send you some of my favorite books so you can take a look before we started. And remember that from next week, we will do Italic handwriting. So we need a small writing pen. For the fountain pen or small nib, it doesn't. I will show you more details at the end of the class today. All right. So this is inspirational. And this book is a very interesting book as well, with interesting textures and handwriting, something like this. Even this show you how to cut the quill. And position and writing. So it's just a quick look of the book collection that I'm going to post it on the website. So after the class, going to the website, my website, click download all this document, and you can do that your self-practice in the future. Okay. Last week, we have finished the alphabet from A to Z in the lowercase. And again, today we will learn the Italic and focus on the capital. But before that, I will show you some of the very interesting ligature, which is a connection between one letter to the other letter. And I believe that is very useful when you make the artworks in general. Or I will show you some of symbols, flourishings as well. So you can apply into your writing in the future. So I have a camera right here. Let me switch to this camera so that you can see my writing, right? Oop. I just update this right here is for it's a $10 from Amazon, something like that. And I'm using that for teaching most of the time right now. Okay. All right. Before we start, I just want to mention that again, that we using this guideline or 5 pen width for the X size again. And for the capital in particularly, capital will be 8 pen width. I'll mention that again here. So here the X height is a 5 pen width, right? The ascender 5 and descender 5. But for the capital, we using something between 7.5 to 8 pen width will be the capital X high. So something like that, around like that size is the size of the capital. I don't want to write it right here in my guideline, so I draw just a line in the middle, something like this in pink, so that I know that is a guideline for the capital. One after the other, like this. You can use your rulers to draw the guideline for the capitals. That's no problem. It's very simple. 7.5 to 8 pen width. So for example, your nib is 3 millimeters and the capital is around 24 millimeters, 2.4 centimeters. Okay. Again, I'm using this parallel pen, 3.8 millimeters, a little bit bigger than usual to demonstrate to you in the pigment ink from platinum and just normal paper. I don't use any fancy paper for right now. Okay, so let me show you some options, flourishing or variation of the ascender and descender. Let me zoom in. Zoom in. That's better. Okay, that seemed to be. Yeah. Testing the pen first. It's pretty good. Okay. All right, last time we have done the ascender and descender this way. Take this out. Center base to close. Okay, this is better. Okay, so last time we've been using this needle. So my paper a little bit more. Is that better for you? I guess. So last time we did, let's say, I do the letter G. And flatten the pen angle. Here. So we have 1 and 2 flatten pen angle. 2 is around 5 to 10 degree only, right? And the same thing with the letter with a center in the top. We do this little pen twist here to make that beautiful curve. Right? This will also flatten your pen angle. That is for ascender and descender. So I show you another variation of this one. It's for the G. We do is like this. So flatten the pen angle first. Switch back to 45 degree. And now I want to do what I call is a hook ending. So from here, do not lift your pen. Keep going with your pen. And then using the right corner of the nib to make that hook up like this. You see that it's not really complete with the ink here, so we can do the retouch by using the nib corners again. You can turn the paper if you want and draw in the ink until you see a very beautiful shape like this. So we call this a hook ending, like this. Okay. And sometimes I do the retouch here as well to make it a little bit better. So this shape is look like this. Let me show you with two pens. So this is the downstroke. Down to this way, and you lift using the right corner of the nibs only to make that one. That hook up, very smooth inside, and then you use the left corner again. You do the retouch here to complete this. And try to make that the continuation of this inside of stroke to the outside. And the same thing with the blue line from outside to inside. You see the continuation like this. And if you do that hook stroke, try not to do it like as what we call here. It is here. We call this is a fishtail. And it's not really nice for ending of the hook style in italic. You look kind of missing something right here in this corner. It's not really beautiful. That's why. And the same thing with the top of the H like this. We can do exactly the same thing. We can do it. It's in reverse, like a different angle. We do it from the bottom of the stroke, going up and do the twisting pen again. A little bit difficult here when we do that's using 45-degree pen angle, going up like this, and then twist the pen using the left corner to make the hook first, and then we do use a left or right corner of the pen, doesn't matter. But the thing is that we have to draw in the shape of the stroke so it looked like a very beautiful hook, and then fill that with ink. It's exactly the same to the bottom, but now I have very beautiful curve continuation. And again, try not to make this, sorry, fishtail. It's not really beautiful. This one, right? Same thing. For at sender, we have another variation that we can do this way. Like I started just like normal, like this, for this stroke, right? Just like normal when we do the same from the top to bottom. And then from here, I do another push stroke, a flattened pen angle here. And then I do another going down. And again, I twist my pen using the left corner to make that beautiful curve. And I do the retouch to make a very nice continuation hook. See? Something like this. Very beautiful hook here. And sometimes I can use the nib to create a texture filling on the left side of the corner. So it looked like it's made by a very speedy stroke. Right. Now, same thing, same technique, we can apply into so many other letters, like the letter R as well. If we want to make a little bit of flourishing, twist the pen, make that curve, and now draw in the stroke that create that hook. Fill in with ink. And we have this, the hook as well. But be careful with these. The hook is very appealing, but if we overuse that, then the letter can be looking quite busy. Okay. For example, let's say that I write the word. I write the words down. Let's put it out here so I have more space. Domination, for example, domination. this A form first. Now I want to make a little bit of flourishings on this. Now maybe I do this one. That stroke first, and then I apply some flourishing with a push stroke. Right here, just a little bit, and I do the retouch. And then O. Dominations. I will skip a little bit of outline on the top so it doesn't look too heavy to me. Okay. Oops, it's space. This one, so this is a top of the little eye next to that. Now for here, maybe I add a little bit of flourishing at the end of the end. So I flatten my pen angle. I make this beautiful stroke. Draw up with a near corner. And I do the retouch to make running out of ink. So I do the retouch and make a very beautiful look there. Fill that with ink. Something like this. So it look very, very nice now with the word dominations. Right? Something like this. Or I can give you another samples of writing with the G hook at the bottom. Let's say the word ginger. I like this word very much. Okay, I can practice the G twice. Ginger. Okay. G. 33. Yeah. Down. Now I twist my pen at the bottom to make that beautiful hook. Right. I do the retouch. Retouch. Slowly, slowly, like this. And this may be another retouch. It's not here. So we have the G. And again, I could skip the top part of I. Ginger. Another G. I just do a little bit faster. So you see that it's the influence of the speed that can apply into the writing as well. Ginger. Maybe this R, I just keep it very simple. I don't want to have too many detail in the same word. Yes, ginger. This. Now you see, this is very beautiful, isn't it? The little technique with the hook. That you can apply into the flourishing at the end flourishing ascender, flourishing descender. It's very gentle, but very useful in my opinion. Okay, so from those strokes, we have the idea for making the capitals. When we study the capitals, we start from the basic form. And for italic capital, they don't really invent a brand new capital. Italic letter borrows with the letter form. Most of the time, it's borrowed from a Roman letter. So it may require some basic knowledge of Roman letter. If you don't have any background of Roman calligraphy, I recommend you to go to my YouTube channel and watch free videos of basic of Roman alphabet. So in series of 9 videos, it shows the principles of creating Roman letter, the structure, the form, the basic form of Roman letter using the broad edge pen, the proportion, the ratios, and other detail as well. So it's available for free on my YouTube channel. After the class, I will also include that on the website. So you may need to watch them again to really understand the concept of Roman letter in the future. Maybe I'll write out the class like this. And today we learned it, what we call these flourishing capital versions of Italic. So it requires some knowledge of Roman, of course, and then we also apply some technique that we have been doing with the capitals in applying like this, flag and flourishing like this, push stroke and point stroke. In the books of my books, I have some of the information about the basic stroke in the Roman in Italic capitals that I'm showing you now. So we did it already, some basic stroke that we gonna use for the capitals. So this is actually the basic stroke already. Let me show you. The first one is a push stroke to the left. So 45-degree going down and push stroke, and then you flatten your pen angle to the left like this. Now, push stroke. We call it push stroke here. This is number one. From 45-degree at the bottom, from the top, and then turn the pen angle to around 10-degree here at the bottom. Yeah, that's the first one. The second one will be also the push stroke, but horizontally. The 45-degree here, now you switch to very flattened pen angle, only 10-degree, and then you turn it to 45-degree. So it kind of inverse compared to the second stroke. It will be from 10-degree and switch a pen to 45-degree at the end. Like this. And number one and number two have some variation as well that you apply down with 45-degree and then switch to flatten pen angle like that to 10-degree, but you do not stop. You keep going and do another stroke to the right. So you're going down 45-degree here and flatten and then turn this way. So to do that in one stroke only, let me show that again. Bring down. Flatten it again. So kind of pointy at the end of the stroke. Yeah. To make that stroke more elegant, let me show you to do this. But instead of doing just a straight line, kind of geometrical form like that, we do a little bit of pen switch from the same pen angle. You apply a little curve into that and flatten the pen angle at the end of that stroke. So we have a very beautiful ending. It's very light curve. It is the same thing when we do the letter T, for example, the letter T like this. We also flatten it and switch it to almost 0 degree. So we have a very smooth transition from thick to thin. We create the very beautiful flows. Something like this. All right. And of course, we can do another extend stroke of that one by going down, horizontal, and then push stroke going up like this. So you gradually extend the stroke down, horizontal, and up like this. Okay. We apply another one with horizontal, going down, horizontal again, and then going up. So this is basically this stroke only contained so many principal movement of capital in italic. Yeah. Pull and push stroke. This is pull stroke, push stroke, pull and push stroke at the same time. All right. Now we apply that into writing some letters. It's a very basic form first. Again, we've been using 7.5 to 8 pen width for the X height, the capitals. First letter is the simplest letter in italic form, is the letter I. So I start I with 45 degree going down and then twist to their flattened angle, shorten at the bottom like this. But it's the full X size of 8 pen width maybe, it's easier to remember, 8 pen width. And this is the following 10 degree slant to the vertical line, all right? And pay attention that try not to make it too angular like this. Okay? It's kind of date letter. It's too straight down. Exactly like this stroke that we have been experiment. We want to apply a very nice curve into that downstroke. So you can see that it's beautiful compound curve going down like this. So apply a very light curve into that stroke so it look more appealing and attractive. But this I hasn't complete yet. So we need another stroke. Flatten the pen angle here. We do the push stroke to the left and twist the pen to 45 degrees. And we have the letter I. Compared to I, we do exactly the same form. And if the I have a little bit of descender going down like this, and then another push stroke on the top, and we have the letter J. And sometimes for the J to make it a little bit more readable, easier to read, they do that hook ending like that, or like this that we have done earlier. So optional, this one or this one, depends on your style. That's the J. The second letter is J, and the third letter is very similar to that, the letter that we've been doing. This stroke actually, it's the letter L. Flatten the pen angle first, the twist to 45 degree. Again, apply a very soft curve on that stroke going down. And then flatten your pen angle too to make that L stroke. Now we have to come to the proportion. This is the X sign is about 8, then the width of the L is about 4. So the L is half square. Square means made by xi. So for example, the xi is 8 and the square will be 8 by 8 like this. And the L will be fitting inside half square. I would not spend too much time talking about this proportion and why. Please go into please goes to my YouTube channel to see the Roman letter, this one. And for the L, we try not to make any flourishing at the end of this stroke. We don't want to mess this letter with other letter as well. So try to be simple like this, or maybe you can do a little bit of flourishing on the top of the L, but not at the horizontal stroke. Horizontal stroke, just like that. And for the top of the L, I can twist my pen to make that little hook like the ascender, but I don't want to have any flourishing at the bottom here of the L. So this is okay, but keep this clean at the bottom, this stroke. All right. And another letter I think it's very interesting to do is the letters H have a quite similar form to these letter. The letter H, I start the letter H in very similar to letter I. It's exactly like the letter I. This. And then I also flatten my pen angle to make the hook. Now try to line up this hook stroke to this bottom flourishing. So we don't want to make this too long or too short. Now the width of the H will be around three-quarter of the square form here. And the H will be something in this side, 3/4 of the square, each side. We do measurement by eye. Sometimes we can do this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is 3/4 of 8 pen width. So this will be the width of the letter H. So I do this. The next stroke is like the letter L in lowercase. Yeah. Just like the letter L. And then we do cross stroke like this. Yeah, it's also flatten your pen angle here. Pen angle to around 10 degrees. And again, this horizontal stroke, just like the end of the letter L, we don't make it too straight like this. We make a slight curve like this. This is better. It's better. And this is not really great. I think I made a wrong measurement here. Maybe I do that H again. I'll show you. Flatten the pen angle and down. That seemed to be better. And the middle bars of this H is right above the middle line. This is divided by 4 and 4. And this stroke is right above the middle line. This one. Letter H. And one last simple letter in this group is the letter T. A T is it's much easier when you do the T. I start the T with a push stroke like this. I started 45 degree going up, and then I twist my pen to horizontal stroke, and then flatten pen angle up like this. For the T, and then adhere right middle of this to this. See, right middle. And this width is around 3/4 as well. I make a downstroke right in the middle of this one at 45 degree pen angle. I can do it like this on the right, or I can do it like this. With a little bit of flourishing to the left. push stroke. So I started from here, going up, here, going down. 2 push stroke, the same letter. It's the letter T. Okay. We have 2 more letters, which is a push stroke and a horizontal stroke. Letter E and the letter F. E and F sharing the same width as L, which means it's half square. So I start with the E first. The E, for the E, I make this down stroke like this. And it's just like the letter L in the capital L that we have done. Flatten the pen angle, half square, right? Half square here for the E. Now right on top of the E, I make a push stroke up and flatten pen angle here too, so that this will line up to half square. And we divided this E by half as well, 4 by 4. Then the middle stroke is exactly the same to the letter H, is staying right above the middle line and a little bit shorter than the first 2 strokes on the top and the bottom. And do that again without the diagram. 4 to 5 degrees down. And flatten the pen angle here, half square. We do a push stroke to make that top right on the middle line, shorter than the first 2 down stroke, 2 horizontal stroke. And the same thing with the letter F. We do this stroke and then we do a push stroke to the left like this, and then we're going to do a push stroke on the top. And the next stroke now staying right below the middle line and also shorter than the first horizontal stroke. So when you upside down these letters, you see this. There's a space under here will be bigger than the top. And for the F, the spacing on the top will be bigger than the bottom. So that is an exchange between E and F. People get confused about this all the time. And I see some problem like this, for example, it's just by change the position of the middle stroke of the E, it looks so different. It feels different as well. Just like that. Oh, all of these strokes are already very beautiful, but because of this going quite in the middle, quite low bar, so it looked kind of not natural for me. It's not natural according to the gravity of the earth. Right? It's too heavy on the top and too small spacing on the bottom like that. So it looked like the letter E is now tending to fall in to the right. We call it the falling E. And the same thing with the letter F. When we do the letter F, because of this line, something like this with the letter F, everything is okay until you put this upstroke too high, right? You see? Now the problem again is that it's way too little on the top, way too little to the bottom, so that it's not balanced at all. By just moving the position of the middle stroke of the E and F, we have a different feeling. Grab some water. Okay, let's do some practice with the letter. Let's say words, fingers. Horizontal stroke, push stroke, and right below the middle line. Right? This. fingers. Maybe I use this one with the G. Fingers, combination of capitals to lowercase. Another word, maybe I do the letter H. Now I want to make a hook ending here, so maybe a little bit of flourishing applying to the capitals. Do the retouch, make the hook straight down, and I do the retouch here. H. I do another retouch. Yeah, again, avoid using kind of fish shape ending like this. Try to fill that with ink. Extend the hook a little bit. Flatten your pen angle. It's very beautiful in H. I really like this form. So let's say, let's write my name. My middle name is also my brother's first name, my older brother first name. So this is my older brother first name. I do this one of the Y. Show you this next time, right? Last time I do a bit of flourishing, a little bit of flourishing with a push stroke, and I do the retouch. So it's a little more natural. Gradually do the retouch little by little. So we have this. Yep. This is the name with flourishing. Let's do another one. Maybe this time I do the letter E. E, it would be more interesting to do the E. Right here, save some paper. For the E, maybe I can do a little bit more flourishing version of the E with extend stroke. This version I do this way. I started from the top to the left, and I do this. So it's a little bit different from the one that I show you. So instead of going from the bottom to the top, now I'm going to top to bottom, from the right top to the bottom like this. And middle stroke above the middle line, E, right? And sometimes I do a little tick here as well for decoration. It's look like this. This is a serif in a Roman letter. So usually in Roman letter, we do have the serif like this. So instead of that one, we change it to this form. So I kind of borrow from Roman filling. And I do the word exam. Very little details for flourishings. Okay. And do maybe I'll do a little bit of flourishing for the S. So I use this one with the S. Flourishing as well. And here I will show you another way to do the flourishing. I use the nib corners as well. I do the quick stroke like this. I do this quick stroke like that, and I do the retouch. little bit of retouch. I do the hook. This is another way to create washing. I see. Way to do washing like this. Don't want to waste the paper, so I'm going to have it here. J, you take this one. Very beautiful hook into the form of J, and I do the retouch. This, all right. Do this. F. Well. Oh, top. If, that's the word if. So quite a few ways to do this. Flourishing at the end. Something like this. Okay, so that is the first group of letter with just horizontal stroke and a downstroke. The next group will be a little bit easier to see, but I believe this is the most difficult group in calligraphy in general. It's not just in italic, but also in other style, Roman or black letters or round hand. So this is old form in italic. There are two kinds of old form that you can use to write in italic capital. The first one is exactly the same with the lower K, but you write now much bigger at 8 pen width. So it basically it's just a very a big scale letter O, 8 pen width for the X sign instead of 5 like before. And you can apply that into other form like O and C like this as well. But for C to capital, we do a little bit different when we add a little bit of serif going down like this and do the retouch. For the capital, we need that serif. And then we do the letter Q, similar to that form. At the bottom of the Q, right here, with the connection between first stroke and the second stroke on the top, flatten your pen angle and going down below the baseline. That's it. That is a flatten your pen angle. Here is around 5 to 10 degree only pen angle. Again, for the C and O and Q, try to see the center of this one. It's symmetrical to the center. So this point going through this to the other side is the same. Same thing here, symmetrical to the center. OCQ, something like that. But then the second form of the O, which is more difficult, I think, is now turn that into almost a circle form. Let me show you first. It's also symmetrical to the center, but the width of the O is now much bigger. It's almost like the same to Roman letter. But the problem is because the O is slanted, so the O form now, something like that. It's also centralized like this, symmetrical to the center. So if you this point going to the other side of the center, exactly the same. This is the italic O. And compared to the O in Roman, I hope that I can show you here. Roman O will be a little bit different. Roman O is line symmetrical. And you see the difference here. Italic O is center symmetrical. This is Roman O is line symmetrical, which means if you do draw the axis here, then O is kind of reflects in both sides. So this point going to the other side vertically is equal to this point to the other side equal to this point. So it is something related to geometry here, and you have to see the difference here in between Roman and Italic. And Italic we use 45-degree pen angle, but in Roman we use 32-degree pen angle. So that is the biggest difference between the pen angle is by looking at this slanted. This is more, that's 35. This is here, 45 degree. That's two different form of the O. And to check the O, it's the easiest way to make it upside down. Now you can see it. Can you see more clearly that Italic O is looking a little more slanted than the Roman O is looking more rounded or more circle. That's the two different form of the O. This is a very easy one. This is recognizable because it's very slim compared to the Roman O. But this one is because they both have the same width. It's a full square. So Italic O and Roman O is a little bit more difficult to distinguish because one is a center symmetrical and one's a line symmetrical. That's two biggest difference with this O. The Italic O and Roman O, something like that. When you put it in the right side like that, it's a little bit difficult to see. But when you're upside down, it's more obvious to look at, right? Now the same thing here with the O is the Q and C, and we apply the same thing with Q and C. For example, like do the Q, 45-degree pen angle, and make it like a slanted O form, right? Just check this, upside down, it's slant. That's a pretty good O form. Flatten your pen and go again here, that's at the bottom. And do this stroke. And the same thing with the C. This form. Flatten your pen here. And here I use near corner to drag down some ink and fill that with ink. And the same one, the other letter, that's which very similar to this form is a J. Do this and drag down some ink to make that. And this, from here, I keep going to the top to push stroke to 45-degree pen angle, and then going down, just like the low KG. And sometimes I do the flattened pen angle to make another stroke, additional stroke here to make it more readable at a G. Now combine these letters with the first group letter that we have done. For example, L plus half O. So I do the L first, like this. And there are two ways to do this letter. The one way is we do the push stroke from here to do the O form on the right side. Make a beautiful connection like this. And the D is L, this letter L, plus half O, with a little bit of extend stroke on this side. The second way of doing this letter, let me do the extend. 1, 2, and 3. This is stroke direction. But with push stroke of Italic, we can do this another way. We do this one in one stroke only. So going down first to the left, here to the right, and keep going here. Keep going with a 45-degree pen angle, going up to the push stroke, like that. keep going like this. So I stop and I talked, keep going, and we do a downstroke. So this is a second way to do the D. Instead of split this into 3 different strokes, we do this in 1 stroke only. So we do mostly push stroke to make that D, beautiful D form. But it's not compulsory. You can use this way better. It's when you break down the letter form in the 3 different strokes like that, it would be easier to see the form. And same thing, same letter to this would be the letter P. Very similar technique. You can do this on the left and then on the right, going down like this. Or you can go the other way. It depends on. But for the P, I think this is easier to do this way. 1 and 2. Yeah, same thing. We have the letter R. Now the proportion here. The meeting point of these letters is right below the middle line. Flatten your pen and go to do this stroke. P and B. P getting down to right below the middle line. Same thing with the R, right below the middle line. And the width of the P or the B is roughly half square, or 1/2 of the square. And for the D is a little bit like this, from here to here is 3/4, or a little bit more than 3/4. Depends on the context that you work with. It's just a roughly a measurement. It's not a precise numbers here, but you can use your eye to see the proportion here. As long as it look good in the letter, it doesn't matter if it has to be exactly the same number that I mentioned here. B is very similar to this letter as well. B is almost like this short L here in the downstroke, and then we do the push stroke on the top. Now this point, this meeting point is now below the middle line, so that the first belly, the above belly, is smaller than below. See? This one in pink will be around the similar size. Now all these belly, when you're upside down, these belly will be exactly the same to this one by size. Right? This one is equal by size. Okay, and 2 more letters in this group. I believe. We can do this. S form is very similar to the lowercase s. It's also, we do that in 1 stroke, like this. Okay. With the S, and I do a little bit of retouch to make this serif going down, just like the top of the C, top of the G, right here. And sometimes I do the retouch bottom as well, like this, to make it a little bit square-ish. This is the letter S in italic. And the U, we do this U curve. Now keep going at 45 degrees, going up to the top. This, and then do another downstroke at 45 degrees, just like normal U, and then flatten your pen angle to do this beautiful forcing stroke to the left. Notice this is not fully straight up. It's a little bit curved to the right. And the width of the U is 3/4. The width of the S is roughly half square, compared to the full 8x8 square, to the standard size of the square. Okay. Now let's practice some words maybe. do this word. Let's do let's do the letter R and this maybe D first. I'm a big fan of the game Diablo, so I want to write that name here. I write this way. Keep going with the push stroke. Yes, all right. Keep going. And extend it a little bit more to the left. And I use the left right corner to drag the hairline. And now I want to make the continuation. So I drag some ink on the side as well for the forcing for the D. All right. That's the D. Not really smooth, so I do the retouch to smoothen the inside and outside of the stroke. Let's say the word Diablo. I've been playing this game since age of 10, long times ago. I really like this game. Now I do this downstroke. And I do the retouch here as well. No need any specific detail at the bottom on the flat stroke for this. Maybe here I can do a little bit of retouch to make this beautiful ligature between A and B, like this connection. A little connection here as well. The next letter practice will be the P. I can do the other the same thing. Let it go down. Now I go the P this way. To do this, P. Do a word pick. Assemble. Top. Use my forcing here. And I do the retouch to make ink drag. Beautiful ending. Right. Now notice this in italic, we don't have any connection between capital and the lowercase. You just make spacing in between close enough so you can read that as a whole word. You don't want to make any connection between capital and the lowercase at all. Do this. Actually, you quickly. I've been uter, so I'm writing the word uter. Oh, is that? No, it's misspelling. UTAH. Never mind. It's just for practicing. Now a little bit of forcing here at the angle. And then I do this track corner to the top like this. Okay. And the last one will show you the letter S. A little bit flourishing to the left side, like this. It's a little more interesting this way. Do some retouch on the top. Yes. Toggle that capital. Yes, letter K at center is longer. Remember this. This capital is 8 only, but the long letter is 10. At center 5 and X high is 5. So the K is much longer. 2 pen widths longer than the letter P. I try to write the word sweet, but I don't think that I have enough space. Sweet. Italic. You don't have the connection as well here. All right, so that is the second group with combination of the O form and L form. Now come back to the last one, doing the last group of letter with a triangle form. In fact, in italic, we don't have perfectly triangle. We make this stroke at 45 degrees. Let me show you first. In Roman, for example, let me explain quickly. In Roman, when we make the triangle, we do it like this, right? This is triangle. This is also a triangle. Like that. Now we convert to every downstroke and horizontal stroke here to a little curve in italic. So in this, instead of that downstroke with a very straight line, turn that into a soft curve like this. Do that. Show your pen home. Way above the nib. Yes, I have a pretty high hold like this. Let me scrap the rulers. Let me see how long. This is maybe my habit from writing most of the time, that I don't hold the pen too close to the nib like this. This is way too close. I usually hold the pen higher. Around here is almost 2 inches. 2 inches. Right? It's almost. That's not perfectly 2 inches, but it's a very long high hold. Like this. I don't hold it too close to the nib. Too close to the nib, it's kind of limited to the movement. So I try to hold it higher so I can move the whole arm and the nibs around much easier. Again, come back to this stroke. We do a slight curve like this, going down. And for the upstroke, we have optional for the upstroke. You can do it this way, right? Or you can do it this way. It depends. So it's slightly curved, and slightly curved. And for the horizontal stroke, we already learned that. Slight curved stroke like this as well. Okay. So, for example, I do the letter V. Letter V, I start with that stroke going down. And then I do this slight stroke up, this. So the V, the center of the V is a slight angle. All right, this is beautiful triangle shape around 3/4 of a square. And then I use push stroke to make this push stroke go down like that. Sometimes I can do a little tick here for the V going to the right. The second option for the V I show you here is that and downstroke, and then open to the right. Second options. Downstroke with a forcing stroke like this. So either both of them is okay. Yeah. There's no problem with these. A very similar letter would be the letter W, would be downstroke. Now upstroke first, downstroke, another curve, and upstroke. Maybe I do this time with this kind. V and down for forcing. And notice this. This is kind of a little bit smaller than the letter V. Then V. So this E equal to upside down. V. So that is for the size proportion with the V and the W. So you can compare these one. So this one and this one is the same. But these two shape is a little bit smaller than the V. Right? Grab some more paper. For the A, we have two options for the A. We're going to do this A first, going downstroke, a steep angle. So instead of 45-degree angle here, I'm going down this one pretty thin. This, and 45-degree, going down to like this. Cross stroke, flatten the pen angle. And here we do another motion stroke. This is the first variation of the A, down, 1, 2, 3, and 4 directions. The second way to do the A would be from the bottom, going to the top, like this. Keep going to the top of the, sorry. Yes. Okay. Stroke, and of course, this stroke. A little bit different. Stroke, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So two options for the capitals A. But this upstroke is very handy in some of the letter as well. For example, letter L, we do this upstroke first, like this. Sorry, a little bit being smart here. Down. It's very similar to the letter V, and then up like this. Flatten the pen angle again, doing this. It's for L. And of course, you can do this L from the other side, way down first. Then this diagonal stroke, up stroke, and this stroke. So either way is fine. Down first, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This the M is around 3/4 as well of the square, and the A is around 3/4 square as well for the size. Right. And for the V, the M, the next letter is the M. I do this one downstroke first, just like the first stroke of the M here. The second one will be the V inside. So I can do this and then going up and then another one. So this is perfectly the V inside. This is V side. M and I do a dimension stroke to this side, to the end. For example, I like the word to this beautiful stroke here at the end. And last three letter in this form it's much easier now. When we do this is X form. X have quite few variation. We can do this way. X form. X like this, or you can do simple X like this. Do the upstroke up here. Yeah, both of them is okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And the meeting point here is above the middle line. Yeah, pay attention to this. The difference is that when we do the letter Y, the meeting point is below the middle line. Right? For the Y, meeting point is below the middle line. Or the Y, you can use this variation as well. It's just like the letter U, but a little bit smaller. So around a little bit above the baseline. Going down for the descender, just like the G and the J. Another version of Y. The last one will be the Z. 45-degree here, cross, and you do the hairline going down, do another cross, a very gentle curve, and make a stroke right in the middle, above the middle line again. To have that's one. And for the size, for the X is around half square. Y is also half square. Y is 3/4 if you use this sign. And for the Z is 3/4 if you use this one. Okay. And let me show you some sample of using A and N for practicing words. A. I like this form of A a lot, so I do write this. It's beautiful curve. Yes. And sometimes I do this one. I do a little loop here. So it look like continuations on one stroke. Flatten my pen and go. I do this stroke. Let us take out on the left and flatten, go up. I do the retouch here. And now the retouch here as well. A little detail, little by little. So don't rush when we do flourishing. retouching carefully. A. For sure, A and N is, yes, 45 degree. 45 degree. This one. A. Word. And this one, the G. Do it quickly and it's already beautiful. So I don't need too much of retouch. Maybe a little bit here at the bottom only. And sometimes I do this. This one for another decoration level. Don't overuse this. I just want to show you the samples. Angelina. Angelina. Word. Now, because it's already have 2.2 some forcing on the left side. On the right side, it's a little bit of blank space. So maybe I can add a little bit of forcing here. Sorry. To balance the design. It's not too heavy on the left. So that's the way we do Angelina. And the next one will be the N. N will be the same. Let's do the N here. Do a very wide forcing here. Some retouch. 45 degree. Here, a bit more gentle because it's already quite heavy at the bottom. Maybe it's not really nice. I do some more touch. That way, much better. I appreciate the passion. It's my neighbor. He's downstairs. He has very powerful sneeze. So I use this one as a connection between this two other letter. Now do this. Now this one, we can apply exactly the same to this form here, right? And do the other way, to the other way. So I do the push stroke. Retouch, some retouch. Well, it look pretty interesting sometimes. But again, don't overuse a flourishing. Flourishing can be very dangerous. It could destroy everything in your work. All right. And did I miss any letter in the alphabet? A, B, C. Oh, letter K. I see. And this one letter in the alphabet, the letter K. For the K, I started just like small capital I on the left. Here. Start to the left. And then I started here, just like this stroke. A little below the middle line, the meeting point, below the middle line. And then I flatten my pen angle going out. Sorry, this isn't in here. So this should be like this. Yeah, for the K, so like this. And for the word king. A little bit of decoration purposes. Not really nice here. Oh, don't look at this. Kings. Yes, I think, yep, I think that's it. That the whole alphabet from A to Z and the capitals. And then grab the other pages. Well, we did a lot today. We did a lot of writing. Letter, big sign, O and C and E. L. Form as well. And some flourishing, basic flourishing. That's it. It's give you some ideas of doing formal italic with the Godash pen holder. This one is the newest. Do you have a question for capitals? Just let me know. I'd be very happy to answer the question and do the demonstration again. Or any problem, like any letter that you have a problem. It's group. Not yet. Is that difficult for you? Is that flourishing? Flourishing interesting. I miss the stroke order. Letter Z and Y. Okay, sure. For the Z and Y, let me show you quickly. Z and Y. Y first. Y first. For the Y, two kind of Y, right? One is we do this form first, going down a little below the middle line. First stroke. And the second stroke, you can do exactly like the letter I, letter U, go from here over. So you can see this. So down first, this one, and this two. And the last one here, downstroke here, using this, going down, like this up. This is letter Y, or you can use this Y. Down. And here, up just like letter U. Then below the baseline. It's 2, 1, 2, 3. That's the order of the stroke. And for the Z, italic is pretty simple. And for the Z, is just keep going on the bottom here first, horizontal stroke, and going down, and then another horizontal stroke in the middle. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is stroke order of the candle. What size pen do you have? I'm having 3.8 here. I'm using 3.8 to make a demonstrate to you, but you don't have to use this one. You can use smaller pen like 2.4, or you can use broad edge nib like C2, C3. Is this C3 here? See it? C3 here, or anything, any pen that you have. If you can proc it on 6 millimeter as well, it's no problem with the size. From next week, I would recommend you to going down to 1.5 millimeters. If you have a fountain pen, let me grab the fountain pen quickly. So if you had a fountain pen, that would be great because we do the handwriting version. So it's something like this with a fountain pen nib. See, this is the fountain pen nib. This is 1.1, I guess. This is 1.1, and you can use a 1.5 to 1.1. If you don't have a fountain pen nib, use a small side nib with a dip pen, like this. Or you can use a parallel pen with size of 1.5 or 2.4. It's okay, but still slightly too big. Then writing with big size is not the same with small size when you do normal handwriting. Let's prepare something small size. For big size, we practice. It's great for practicing a formal italic like this from A to Z when we have to see the form to correct the form. But when we go down to normal handwriting, we don't just see the form anymore. We see the flow. For example, I write the word Angelina. So I still write the same thing here, but you see that proportion here is a little bit bigger than usual because we are doing a small sign. We want to make it, and this stroke may be not really necessary for daily handwriting. And a lot of detail was eliminated to make it more practical for handwriting, something like that. So it's not really beautiful, but I just want to show you quickly like how we do the handwriting with a normal pen and with its speed. So it's still italic, but we don't see the contrast very obvious anymore. So that is a thing that we think. And on the fourth week, when we do this for normal pen, and then another thing change as well when everything more compressed. So this is a quick review for the next week and the last session and the next 2 weeks. All right, so that's it. That is a lesson today. For the video last week, go to my website, vivangdao.com slash, here, let me type it out for you, vivangdao.com /free online classes. When you're going to this link, sorry, wrong one, .com free online classes. There you go. This link will be the one that I'm posting my free class video. So you can go to that link on website, or you can go into my YouTube channel, and it's happen to be there right in my YouTube, and you can watch it again. And I also post my scanned handout. So let me open the website. .com free online class. Go. I'll show you. Share screen. Here. This is the website. When you go into this link, bhangda.com free online classes. You see this website, and when you scroll down here, you see this one will be the recording. All right. Right click to that, open to new tab. It's open on YouTube. So you can watch that again anytime you want. 5 to 10 degrees. And I put some link here as well. That vertical line on the O. And right below here is the scan handout. You can save that into your computer by right click and save image to download. So if you want to print that out, it's okay for you to do that as well. And when you click at the review, you see the different pages that I put it right here. And below this, I will put the link to download the historical books. So you can go into that link and download and study for yourself as well. All right. Yep, that's it. That is the lesson today. I hope to see you again next week. And feel free to ask me a question when you practice. If you have something, you ask me next time, next week. And watch the video again and keep practicing. Good luck for Italic. And hopefully that will help you to study more in the future with other style words as well, not just Italic. See you next time. Have a great night. Have a great day. Bye-bye.